rights could be endangered if the lawsuit proceeds while he is under criminal investigation. District Judge James Otero wrote in the order, "The court finds that there is a large potential factual overlap between the civil and criminal proceedings that would heavily implicate Mr. Cohen's Fifth Amendment rights, referring to the Constitution's protection against self-incrimination." Cohen has admitted to paying $130,000 to Stormy Daniels to secure her silence about having sex with Donald Trump, which he denies. Cohen said the payment was legal and Daniels has sued to end her non-disclosure agreement. Michael Avenatti, a lawyer for Stormy Daniels, promptly pledged to fight the stay, writing on Twitter he would file an immediate appeal to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit in California, which could ultimately lead to the Supreme Court weighing in. Otero wrote, "Whether or not an indictment is forthcoming, and the court thinks it is likely based on these facts alone, these unique circumstances counsel in favor of a stay." Daniels has argued that the lawsuit should proceed, with Cohen invoking the Fifth Amendment only for specific questions that might lead to self-incrimination. But Otero wrote that approach could lead Cohen to not answering any questions, rendering a deposition useless. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Researchers have definitively concluded that all of it, is some kind of sick joke. The Princeton study suggests that the entirety of existence, including time, marriage, migratory patterns of birds, continental drift, life itself, photosynthesis, human society, and the changing of the seasons, are all part of a massive, twisted ruse orchestrated by a spiteful cosmos.
Look at you morons, taking this stupid video for your pointless newspaper. Everything's a joke. I'm a joke, you're a joke, the whole universe is a joke.
We at the Onion Week in Review are compelled to inform viewers that while this entire segment is indeed one small part of the giant perverse joke, the upshot is that the next minute of your life will be no more or less pointless than if you were to spend it with a loved one, mentoring an at-risk youth, or simply wallowing in your own feculence. In other news, Harley Davidson and Jack Daniels collaborate on a local felony. A churchgoer blanks on why she's lighting a votive candle. And please ring the bell and the boy will come round momentarily for your bags. For more news, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
It is Free Talk Live, and when we say we're live, if it's 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
we are live.
Eastern Time.
Right.
There's different time zones that we appear in, all the way from Atlantic to whatever time Guam is in. I don't know.
Yeah. And across the other way, correct? We have some European, African time zones, too, through satellite?
It's satellite. You would have African time zone and satellite. There's no doubt. It could go as far as the Middle East there. I couldn't say for sure. Nonetheless, if it's you're going to have to know what Eastern time zone is, and if it's between 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., we are live. And you can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That's what we do here on Free Talk Live. And the other thing we do is we talk about, we bring in issues that we want to talk about, and we usually talk about them from a liberty perspective.
Sure.
And that means that in some cases, we make the Republicans very unhappy, and in some cases, we make the Democrats very unhappy. So a liberty perspective says that you should be able to do what you want to do so long as you don't harm other people. If you do harm other people, you're then responsible for your actions. So that means in the case of carrying a firearm.
Guilty.
Yeah, well, you carry a firearm. You're not guilty of anything, though. I'm sure you have all the paperwork in line.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and I don't know how long you spent in the military, but it was plenty. You're well-trained, and I know you've got it. But, yeah, so, I mean, if you want to carry a firearm and you haven't harmed anybody with it, then what's the issue?
Right. But a lot of people are trying to make it an issue.
Oh, yes, they are.
You know, they talk about what a threat guns on our streets are, and statistically, and I should have Googled this story before I said this, but I will Google it and we'll post it in the show notes, but the number of serious crimes committed by people that do conceal carry, licensed concealed carry handgun owners, is lower than the number of crimes committed by police.
Yeah, if you were to take, I mean, everybody wants low gun crime.
Right.
Well, this particular group of people, the people who are licensed and legal and concealed carry permit holders, these folks, well, they're not really doing much. And so to prevent them from having certain types of weapons probably isn't going to stop a crime.
Right.
They're certainly out there.
Yeah.
Certainly, some of them commit crimes, there's no doubt, but you're not stopping. You mentioned police, and certainly, European countries. People always want to point to European countries.
Right.
If you take this group of people, they're less deadly than many European countries.
Sure.
As far as, statistics go. So anyway, this is from Yahoo News. 6 reasons gun control will not solve mass killings. In the wake of tragic murder of 17 innocent students and teachers at the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. I'm sure everybody heard about it. Plus, there's been quite a few things that have happened since. Lots of people are dealing with sort of unresolved grief, and they want to solve the problem.
Right.
And to solve the problem, they're coming up with things like, let's ban AR-15s. That seems to be a favorite.
It's the default choice. The default choice is to get rid of the guns because that's the problem. People are getting killed with guns, so you take away guns. But I have always had a gun, and I know hundreds of people that have had guns, and they're just not homicidal. You have to have 2 things. It's for a mass shooting. You need to have, 1, a homicidal person, and second, you need to have a firearm.
Sure.
And you take away one of those, and you're not going to have a mass shooting.
That much is true, but you could still have a mass killing or
a mass truck attack like they just had in Canada. That was tragic. I can't remember. I think it was 14 dead, 23 wounded.
It is tragic. There's no doubt. But people are going to find the weapon to do what they want to do.
They will.
Number 1, mass killings are rare, and mass public shootings are even rarer. Mass killings account for only about 0.2, not 2, but 0.2% of homicides every year in approximately, this is the United States, and 1% of homicide victims. Only about 12% of mass killings are mass public shootings. Most mass killings are familicides, murders of family members or intimate partners, and felony-related killings such as robberies gone awry or gang-related turf battles. So if you move those things off, because there's nothing I can do about your family trying to, like, your family, if your family wants to kill it, if a family member wants to kill everybody, they're probably going to be able to do it anyway.
Right.
With a gun or not. Secondly, if I just don't have anything to do with gang-related turf battles.
No, but we can thank the war on drugs for that.
Indeed.
And that's one of those things,
that's the government.
It's government policy that creates black markets, and black markets have nowhere to turn to resolve disputes. They have no legal system, no court system, no system of moderating anything, so they turn to violence, and that's the only thing they are left with doing to settle things.
So mass shootings, although they have gone up in recent years, are still similar to rates that were in the 90s and the 80s. Number 2, many gun control measures are not likely to be helpful. Over 90% of public mass shootings take place in gun-free zones where civilians are already not permitted to carry firearms.
Right. It's surprising to me, Mark, that, a sign won't stop a homicidal maniac who's bent on killing lots of people.
It's amazing.
Maybe we need a bigger sign. Maybe the sign needs to use more forceful language.
Let me make this go over this one more time. Over 90%, not 90%, more than 90%. If you're statistically in the above 90% category, you can say that something unequivocally either works or doesn't work, right?
Right. It's not like it's 48.
Unequivocally, gun-free zones do not work.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, unequivocally, gun-free zones do not work. Over 90% of public mass shootings take place in gun-free zones.
And it's interesting, and sadly, those are the places that I feel people are at their most vulnerable. Schools, that's where, if you feel that there's a threat, that having an armed security guard, or I'll say it, armed teacher, if that person happens to feel comfortable with a firearm and is okay with concealed.
You don't want to shove a gun into every hand of every school marm out there?
Oh, yes, that's exactly what we want. Whether you want to carry this or not, here's your gun.
One of my problems with this debate in this country.
Right.
Look, I don't own a firearm.
Right.
My problem is big, fat, ugly liars.
Right.
And a big, fat, ugly liar is going to say, hey, let's give teachers the opportunity to carry guns. They're going to say, You're going to force teachers to carry guns? No, that's not what I said. That's a big, fat, ugly lie.
I tell you, I went to a March for Our Lives event here in Keene, New Hampshire. It was probably 4 or 5 weeks ago, something like that, down in Central Square, and I took my sign that said, ask me about my AR-15 on one side, and on the other side it says Pro 2A, let's talk. I wanted to have conversations, and
how'd it go?
What you just did, that caricature of an insane anti-gunner, was pretty much every conversation I had. I won't say that. I'll say it was about 50% of them. The other 50% would try a very reasonable approach with me to convince me of the error of my ways. And you know me, Mark. I don't yell and scream. I'm a very...
That's me.
Yeah. There has to be one.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing that the guy carrying the gun doesn't yell or scream.
Right. And that's a great example.
You've got the personality type for it.
Right. But there were certain people that were, and some of those people were, expats from Europe and things like that just got completely...
They love their chains, boy.
They just got shrill. It was just this shrill screaming, yelling at me about my AR-57. I can't forget that one.
I've got statistics here. As far as it goes, Europe is not much safer than the United States when it comes to mass shootings.
No.
Because, well, if somebody really wants to do a mass shooting, there's not much you're going to stop them. Not much you're going to do to be able to stop them. It's a lot easier to control guns on an island than it is on a continent.
Right.
And that's, sorry. Going on here, the average age of mass public shooters is 34. So increasing the minimum age for purchasing firearms is not going to hit your target of mass shooters.
It's interesting.
Yep. A few public mass shooters have used high-capacity magazines, but there's no evidence the lethality of their attacks would have been affected by delays of 2 to 4 seconds to switch magazines. So, your thoughts, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450, and the word free. Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Mother's Day sneaks up and we hit the panic button. We get suckered into online flower giants pitching $19.99 flowers that end up costing $60. Or we grab last-minute produce department flowers that smell oddly like green onions. That tells Mom you don't care enough to send flowers from the Books. That's short for bouquet, and they're booking awesome. Books flowers are as unique and special as your mom. They're freshly cut from Books farms and delivered straight to your mom, so they last weeks, not days. Books even has farms located on the side of a volcano that produce flowers so gorgeous Mom will post pics of them and brag about you. And because Books cuts out the middleman, you'll get amazingly fresh flowers at an amazing price. Show Mom how much you care. Send her artisan designed flowers from the Books. Order today and get an extra 15% off when you enter code FTL. That's BOUQS.com. And remember to enter FTL to save an extra 15%. That's Books.com, BOUQS.com. And remember, code FTL saves an extra 15%.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live, and tonight we are talking about how banning guns will not stop mass shootings. And now on this show, that is certainly not a controversial opinion, and it's not really an opinion. This is a factual news piece from Yahoo's News. I didn't write this. This is what they're saying, and I'm only reading it. Of course, it's something we've basically the facts we've portrayed over time. You would think, with all the people who are throughout America who are of the opinion that banning assault rifles or whatever is a good idea, you would think that the phones would be blowing up right now. Not happening, I can assure you. Mm-hmm. But I mean, because they don't like to be confronted with facts that disagree with their worldview.
Yes,
and they always feel like there's some nuance that needs to be pointed out. And this, that's what Free Talk Live's about. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. But best I can tell, there is no correlation to gun bans and a reduction of crime. Like, none. There's no correlation.
Yeah, and it's certainly, you can't look at U.S. laws because U.S. laws regarding firearms are mostly based in the state. There are very few federal gun laws. There's a few really big ones that keep you from owning certain kinds of guns, no matter what state you live in. But we have states like New Hampshire, which has, and I was going to say Vermont, but Vermont formerly had very liberal handgun and long gun laws.
Did they pass something that I don't know about?
Yeah, they basically implemented an assault weapons ban and some other things, high-capacity magazines, and I'll pull that up and we can talk about that a little bit. It
probably won't change a thing.
It won't, but it makes people feel good. And conversely, you have states like New York and Illinois who have taken a very strict view of gun regulation.
You'd think that gun crime would be nearly non-existent in those places,
right? But sadly, it's the opposite. That's what hurts. Yeah, and again, I don't want to say that all the shootings in Chicago, which are horrendous, they have one of the highest murder rates in the country for a large city. New Orleans also has very strict handgun laws and things like that. There are also places that have lots of gang activity due to the war on drugs. So, there's a couple things at play there, but people get so shrill and people will, I threw out some of the same statistics that we're talking about today. when I went to that gun rally, anti-gun rally, and I was met with answers like, I don't want to hear your NRA BS. Right. It's like, well, I'm not a member of the NRA, and these numbers aren't coming from the NRA. They're coming from the CDC, because I was quoting CDC numbers.
Well, but what they'll tell you is that the Center for Disease Control has been banned, and this is true. They're banned from studying guns and their effects on crime. But they have done it in the past.
Sure.
And those studies show that guns are used far more often to prevent crimes than they are to commit them.
That's about when they banned them from looking into things.
It is. Now, I don't know. I mean, I can't exactly say why they banned them. Maybe they got the result they wanted. They didn't want any other results. I can't tell you.
The estimate was 500,000 to 3 million times each year handguns or firearms are used defensively, meaning to stop a crime. And
That's
that
correct.
was not what I don't think that was the result Obama was expecting when he asked for that study to be done.
Right, but you'll be told, well, there's just no good data. Well, I'm sorry,
right.
Because there's no good data because the CDC hasn't studied. Now, just because the CDC is not allowed to use government money to study this doesn't mean that the CDC is not allowed to use private money to study it.
Sure.
And it doesn't mean that any other organization isn't allowed to use government or private money. Specifically, the CDC is not allowed to use government money to study this issue, but there's lots of studies.
Yeah, and there's a great one to go back to was the FBI's Uniform Crime Reports. Those are updated every single year. Pretty much all police forces are going to submit their information to them, usually through the state, and that's even if it's not completely all encompassing, it's a great sampling of what's going on around the country and from state to state, and that data is going to back up the same things we're saying. It's rare that that long guns like AR-15s are ever used in crimes. You're going to find out looking at their data that a high number are in gun-free zones, and you can look at average ages, you can look at everything, and you can find out where this information comes from.
It's really irrefutable. There's really no good statistics out there that say that gun bans are effective in reducing crime.
Right.
Now, if you want to reduce crime, you outlaw poor people. Because sadly, they're the ones that are going to use much more likely to be convicted of violent crimes. Look, I don't like it.
Right.
I don't want it to be the case, but it appears to be. Now, there's some statistics you can look at.
Right. Look at excuse me. You can look at arrests by financial, by income level, by race and creed, and. I said, it's a gun issue, but it's also a war on drugs issue.
That much is true. Many gun control measures are not likely to be helpful, as they've said here. The Virginia Tech shooter killed 32 and injured 17 with 2 handguns. So an AR-15 ban wouldn't have stopped that.
Right.
One of which had a 10-round magazine and the other a 15-round magazine. He simply brought 19 extra magazines. It takes about 3 seconds to switch out a magazine.
Yep, ballpark.
5.
Yeah, if you're completely unskilled, it's going to take you a little while, but that's one thing that we know about these mass shooters. They usually get so fixated, they're practicing, and they're pretty efficient once they go in,
right.
Sadly.
23 people were killed and another 20 injured in a Kaleen, Texas cafeteria by a man with 2 9mm handguns, capable of maximum of 15 rounds and 17-round magazines, respectively. A mentally disturbed man armed with 2 handguns and a shotgun killed 21 people in San Ysidro McDonald's and injured another 19. The handguns utilized 13 and 20-round magazines. The shotgun had a 5-round capacity. What was it that Joe Biden said about rifles? You don't need, ladies, you don't need an AR-15.
Just get a shotgun.
Just get a shotgun. I mean, and then you can go on YouTube and watch women shooting a shotgun, and you can watch women falling down over and over and over again.
Yeah.
My wife hates her shotgun. Hates it.
Right.
And, I don't know what to say.
I do know it's the last thing I want to have is my girlfriend to be afraid to pick up a gun because she's afraid of what the gun may do to her shoulder or what's going to happen when she fires it. I want her to be comfortable with it and realize that she can use it. It's not going to hurt, and she can defend herself.
The number here is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. And you can call in. You can talk about whatever you want. If this is your issue, please, by all means, 855-450-3733 here on Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10 years shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
People love photography. But when we thought about photography, we realized one thing. Humans are limited to looking at photos with our eyes. That's a problem, right? So we made an app, PicSong, the first program that turns your photos into music if you want to do that for some reason. It puts the power in your hands. You get to decide why you need this. I can't tell you why you need this. It's not my job. Who is this app for? Maybe it's for students, or artists, or blind people. But can it turn your music into photos? No, it can't. Do you get to keep the original photo? No, it gets deleted. Always back up your photos before using PicSong.
This is the Onion News Network.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can call in and talk about whatever is on your mind, but, you know, we're talking about the 6 reasons gun control will not stop mass shootings. And it's a story by yahoo.com. And, well, just about everything in here seems to be something we've talked about in the past.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, somebody carrying a gun hasn't harmed anybody else. There shouldn't be an issue. I want to tell you real quick about how to do your online shopping at shop.freetalklive.com. You just go to shop.freetalklive.com. We've got several retailers there, including Walmart, which are, if you're shopping there, you take that that moment to add that one extra click involved in the shopping process. We get a little spiff back from these companies, and it's helpful. It decentralizes the advertising process and makes it so that we are not beholden to all kinds of advertisers that are out there on the radio. And not that they're not great, but just saying, you do your shopping there, and you're helping us to decentralize a little bit. Shop.freetalklive.com. Let's go to Charisse calling in from Kansas. Charisse, you're on Free Talk Live. I hope I got your name right.
Yeah, Cerise.
Cerise, pardon me.
No H. Yeah. Hey, I have listened to you guys. I get driving home from work at this time, so I've heard you several times, and I think I called once maybe a year ago.
Great.
And
Nice.
You're a delight to listen to. But you know what? I think you might have accidentally come up with a solution when you were talking about it's the poor people who commit the most violence.
Violent crimes. Actually, what I said was they are arrested more often for violent crimes. But yeah, please go ahead.
Sure. So seriously, I'm really serious here. I'm not being facetious. So if we know that about poor people, when you are poor, you don't have access to mental health services. Sometimes you go hungry, all those things. So how about making sure the services that can help poor people to bring them up, maybe we should focus on that. Therefore, they would be committing fewer crimes.
I'm fine with that if you're willing to trade me for government spending in other places. So if, for instance,
sure,
yeah, I get to cut $3 out of every out of the military spending in order for you to get $1 of government programs. But it's a non-starter with the situation we've got in America.
I know, yeah, totally. I really, when you said that, I just thought, wow, now that's a different way to approach it. Again, it would be hard to get statistics.
Well,
but at least the way you were thinking was kind of out of the box, and I appreciated that.
Well, what my proposal would be is to trade our non-productive poor people for highly productive poor people from other countries. That way, we can get the folks that are going to do a great job.
No, you are kidding, aren't you?
Why?
Oh, we could.
Why are they my responsibility? The fact that I was popped out inside of the United States makes everybody from San Diego to Bangor my responsibility. It seems ridiculous.
But I'll say it's not their fault.
Right.
Whose fault?
Right.
It's not the fault of poor people.
Of what?
There's so many ways to look at it, and I sometimes am in a situation where I wouldn't say I'm poor, but it's harder to access services. I can't see. My glasses are old, and so it's a matter of perspective, and you made me think differently. And again, that was just really good. You guys are vibrant and full of energy.
Thank you for the call,
Thanks.
Charisse.
You bet. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. You were saying, Chris? I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say it's not poor people's fault. Always that they are poor.
Some people are certainly in those conditions because of medical reasons.
That there is that, but I look at government. I look at a system of entitlement that makes people dependent upon the state instead of doing what I think is sort of human nature, which is to go out and try to succeed.
Sure.
Now, not everyone is going to succeed who tries. But I think when you eliminate all those incentives and just say, you know what, you don't really have to. We have such low expectations from you. Just stay home and do whatever you do. Well, then people who do want a little bit of extra money aren't going to be able to do it they can't do it above board. They have to turn towards black markets as a way to supplement their government income. And those are the types of things we see. So it's circular. It's never ending.
I think the government exacerbates the problems regularly when it comes to these things.
Sure.
Not to mention the destruction of the family that I think is so important. I got to say that
I agree.
Yeah, I really floundered financially prior to meeting my wife, but taking her strong suits and my strong suits, sort of putting them together, made it so that. Yeah, I mean, I could make money. She was better at spending it properly or not spending it, really, is the key, by the way. It's not what you make, it's what you spend as far as your lifestyle goes. So, anyway, let's go to the phones. Robert from Vermont. Robert, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, I would be happy to give up my Vermont state food stamps to get an income from cryptocurrency.
That sounds good.
That's a win.
Absolutely, I would. But that's not why I called, though. I called because, at the beginning of the show or after getting into the show, you guys were talking about, the firearms and the rallies and stuff. You mentioned that you were surprised that nobody called in. And that statement right there can't be said enough. I guess the thing that really kind of scares me is that, we have this women's movement that's coming, which is I guess a good thing, but I'm not sure. But
the Me Too movement,
man, if there's any indication of what the women's movement did to Bill Cosby, I mean, I'm wondering what's going to happen with our government and stuff like that. I think that the Republican Party, I think that it's finished.
The Republican Party is finished?
I think so, yeah, because they've allowed, this to go on for too long. They've insulted the intelligence of the public. They've, done inappropriate things. And
I think the Republican Party's problem is probably demographically an issue.
Yeah.
Like they're getting older and, the party's moved old and white, which the nation is moving younger and more brown, and so that's a demographic issue that the Republican Party has. I would say that the Democratic Party has the problem of identity politics. And by that, what I mean is people that identify as a certain thing and say that I'm part of this group or there is this group and this group is treated badly. Because those groups go after each other for who is treated the worst.
Right.
And
competing.
They end up eating their own, as it were.
Yes,
right.
they
So you've got the trans people saying that natural breastfeeding is it's inappropriate to talk about natural breastfeeding of children because some women can't breastfeed is the notion.
Right.
And look, I when I'm being controlled, my language is being controlled in this way. It's going to get people upset, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So you've got feminists saying that trans people aren't real women, stop it, that you're ruining the women's movement and all those things. And then, Black Lives Matter says, you white women have it pretty good, the whole thing.
Yeah, and I will say this. There have been, it's been the year of Me Too, and it's been the year of I was attacked, violated. I want to really be careful here because I'm gonna piss somebody off. But there are people out there, women and transgendered and gay people and heterosexual males that have been aggressed against by someone else. And that's important. And that doesn't seem to have an ideological tilt to it. You've got, Roger Ailes leaving Fox News, and you got Kevin Spacey getting basically thrown off one of the biggest shows on TV. So, it's not a left versus right thing. It's just an issue.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Robert. Appreciate it. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. You can call in and talk about the statements I've just made. You can call in on gun control. You can call in on anything.
Right.
You're certainly welcome here on Free Talk Live. That's what we do 7 days a week from 7p to 10p Eastern Time. Want to tell you real quick, you can call in on Skype if that's what you wish to do. The username here is LRN. That says in Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM. Here on Free Talk Live. is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Technical difficulties. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. And you can call in, talk about whatever's on your mind here on this live edition of Free Talk Live. It's Mark with you.
And Chris.
For years, libertarians of all stripes have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses. Well, we're here to help. Liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for our community. It's, at its core, a directory for events, businesses, and digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of a social networking aspect so you can connect and share with others. Use Liberty.menu, and it's exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at Liberty.menu and use code FTL to get a special badge. It's Liberty.menu. Let's go to the phones. Larry calling in from Indianapolis. Larry, you're on Free Talk Live.
How you doing, Mark and Ian?
Ian's not on tonight. He's off at Libertarian Party event. It's Chris.
Yep, it's Chris.
That's great. And Chris, well, you talk about guns. This is an irrelevant argument that you're trying to have with anybody. I know you hadn't had any takers tonight, but guns are just do nothing. We shouldn't even consider that. The thing I'm afraid of is all these people running around carrying guns that have uncertainty in their jobs and in their financial situation, where one incident can cause them to lose everything. So that's what I'm more worried about than anything. But in any way, you talk about welfare, right? Everybody plucks at the poor, gets at the poor. Well,
you said
it's
plucks,
not actually as it appears, right? The people that are on welfare, in which they've lobbied for, corporations are on welfare. When they come to town, they get hundreds of $1 million as incentive packages. Some cities give them $1 million cash jackpots. And what they end up doing is, if they do bring any jobs to the set, those jobs are highly subsidized. I think I remember one firm here in town that moved in and bought 120 jobs. Each one of those jobs was subsidized to the tune of $30,000. So I think that when you have business, I agree with your libertarian standpoint that if you have to have one penny of government assistance, that means that you really don't have a business. I mean,
I agree.
I see it all the time in our city here, where big corporations, some of them are Fortune 500, they come before our city council and beg for incentive packages. They get on their knees to get the tax abatements. And this is really a situation where the city is giving this money over, and it's never going to be paid back, because when you ask them to pay it back in the future, they're going to tell you, go pound sand. We're going to give you nothing.
They're going to move out.
In fact, we want you to renew it. So
let me
about it is,
I'd like to put a finer point on it, if I may, Larry. I would say that I agree that any kind of money that comes from the public coffers that goes to a corporation is corporate welfare, and that's no business.
There's nothing libertarian about that.
Nothing libertarian about that. However, I would say that a tax abatement, if a company takes advantage of a tax abatement, moves to some place or another like that, I would not want to call that corporate welfare, because it seems like
it is.
Well, I got to say, I'll take my tax abatements wherever I can get them.
No, but here's how it works: is when they get that tax abatement, they go straight to the bank, right? And they, like, have a 10-year tax abatement for $20 million. They go to the bank and get that money. They draw that money down as they go. So I just like to say that we need to reevaluate our statements that we make about welfare, because when you have the large corporations that have seen what welfare can mean to your bottom line, and they're definitely in a competition with the poor now.
Everybody's on the public teat. There's no doubt about it.
As well, it's going to be in the future. Thanks, Mark and Chris.
Appreciate the call, Larry. Thank you. And what Larry's pointed out is that he's right. So if you look at people who accept government assistance, that would include those who get a check from the government
or a service for free.
What service are you talking about?
I'll say healthcare or something like that. You may not actually get a check, but you get
pretty much
something that the government pays for and then gives to somebody else for
pretty much
charge.
Everybody who's getting government healthcare is over the age of 65, so they're already getting a check for Social Security, right?
Oh, not anymore.
Well, I mean, with Obamacare, you're getting insurance. So I guess you can get subsidized insurance.
Yes.
Okay, I'm down.
Yeah, no, and insurance is correct. Good point.
Yep. Then you take people who work for an organization, a company that works for the government, and then you take for people who work for the government. You're supposedly, the numbers I've heard, those who are on some kind of government assistance, work for the government, or work for a company that works for the government, that you're at something like 50% of the population.
Yeah.
And then when you add in some corporation who's getting some kind of government assistance on top of that, then you're pretty high where everybody's on the dole. It's not too many people. Like, usually what they'll come at somebody like me, libertarian, they'll say,
right.
You use the roads, don't you? Well, exactly how am I supposed to get around if I don't? So you're telling me that I should pay this extortion to pay for the roads and then not use them. Like, you can't charge me for firefighter services and then tell me I can't use them.
Right.
That doesn't make much sense. On one hand, I mean, if I could withdraw my money, then you'd be in an opt-in situation.
Right.
Or an opt-out situation. If, for instance, let's use government schools.
Mm-hmm.
My son's never gone to a government school, and to the best of my ability, he will never go to a government school.
Good for you.
Exactly why should I pay to keep a government school going? Now, further, I could point out, since I do pay for my son's schooling and money is fungible, that in fact, the money that I would spend on his education is being spent on other people's kids' education. That's some reverse Robin Hood crap right there.
Right. Oh, and you're going to pay double.
I drive a 2002 F-350. It's not like I'm riding around in style here, okay?
And you're going to pay double because you care about your child's education, and I don't blame you for not sending him to an indoctrination camp run by the state. It's insanity. But I think what it comes down to, I mean, we have these systems, and they've been in place since the beginning of the progressive era. They've just gotten larger and larger. We have the social welfare programs like, Medicaid and, food stamps and housing assistance and all that stuff. And then we have the corporate welfare, which is, subsidies and handouts to everything from big oil to big pharma to small businesses too. And between the two of them, this is not the country that I think anyone envisioned in the 1700s or in the 1800s. I don't think anybody would ever believe that everything would be flipped on its head to the point where government was the provider for almost everyone. Of course, we all pay for government.
It won't work. Not in the long run.
It won't.
Public mass shooters, I'm going to go back to the story here. Public mass shooters typically have histories of mental health. According to one study, 60% of public mass shooters have been diagnosed with a mental health disorder or demonstrated signs of serious mental health issues prior to the attack. It's worth pointing out here that under the Reagan administration, essentially public mental health institutions were defunded. A large body of research shows a statistical link between mass public killings and serious untreated psychiatric illnesses. Now, serious untreated psychiatric illnesses is kind of the sticker here. If they're untreated up to this point, then how do we know that these people would have been put in some kind of loony bin prior to the shooting? The most commonly diagnosed illnesses among mass public shooters are paranoid schizophrenia and severe depression. It's important to remember, and let's not forget the SSRIs that it seems like every public shooter is on. What is that? Serotonin?
Different drugs that are meant to manage the level of serotonin within the brain, even though there is no scientific number for what a proper level of serotonin is in any individual. So they just move it up or down and see how that does for you.
Right.
That's it.
I mean, most people who have mental health issues are not violent, but there's some of them that are. And the problem is that once you start treating, you're moving. I mean, all we are in this world is the chemicals that float around in our brain.
Right.
And some people have chemicals that are so messed up in their brain that they have to be locked in a room and kept away from other people.
And what happens when they stop taking those?
Right, when they choose to not, choose to self-diagnose and not medicate.
Right, and that's when you see those may cause homicidal or suicidal reactions. That's on the label. That's that bad.
The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. Or you can join our Discord at discord.freetalklive.com.
Aging is one thing that affects everyone. George has talked about the power of stem cells for years. Now, there's a new serum that harnesses that stem cell power to bring back your youthful look. Beverly Hills doctor Nathan Newman.
Stem cells are basically our fountain of youth. This is what maintains our body's reparative, regenerative abilities. As we age, every cell breaks down and needs to be replaced, and what replaces it is the stem cell.
Dr. Newman and Janess have developed Lumin-S. Lumin-S takes the science of stem cells, using the same growth factor complex that literally heals our cells, slowing the appearance of the aging process. Apply Lumin-S twice daily, and on average, see results in a week. Learn more, watch our video, and order today at a special Coast website, healthylooking.com. Plus, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Again, that's healthylooking.com. Lumin-S, for a healthier, much younger, better-looking you. Buy now at healthylooking.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at SurvivorMax.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of April 28th and 29th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.53 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,324 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $41, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,065. Antiwar.com reports President Trump said Friday that he is encouraged by the summit between North and South Korea. This added to his administration expressing high hopes about Trump's own upcoming meeting with North Korea's Kim Jong-un. The Friday meeting between Kim and South Korean President Moon Jae-in ended with the agreement to move towards denuclearization and a peace deal to end the Korean War. The Korean War started in 1950 and was never officially ended. While Trump has been cautious about the meeting with Kim, he has also praised the North Korean leader's recent diplomatic efforts. On Friday, Trump assured that he would not repeat the mistakes of past administrations in dealing with North Korea. Despite media reporting aimed at discouraging diplomacy with North Korea, President Trump has continued to advance the process towards talks. It is expected that the talks will take place in late May or early June. According to Trump, 5 locations are under consideration, as are 3 or 4 possible dates. That the two Koreas had their summit so successfully will only bolster the expectations for Trump to make a big deal in his own summit. This is likely to mean further pushback from media opponents of the talks who seek to portray them as doomed to failure. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. UPI reports a passenger on board the Southwest Airlines flight that had an engine failure that killed one person last week sued the Dallas-based airline Friday for neglect, according to court documents. Lilia Chavez accused Southwest Airlines and CFM International, the maker of the engines installed on the Boeing 737, of negligence and willful, wanton, and outrageous conduct. The suit by Chavez is the first to be filed over Flight 1380, which made an emergency landing on April 17th in Philadelphia en route from New York City to Dallas. turbulence. Investigators said a fan blade in one of the engines broke away from metal fatigue and debris struck the side of the plane, breaking one of the windows. One passenger was partially sucked out of the broken window, but other passengers were able to pull her back inside the aircraft. The woman, Jennifer Riordan, died from her injuries. Chavez said in her lawsuit she was sitting 3 seats behind the broken window and witnessed the horror as the woman was pulled out of the plane. She said the blast of air from the broken window caused debris to strike her and obstructed her breathing. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports adult film star Stormy Daniels' lawsuit against U.S. President Trump's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, will be paused for 90 days. The federal judge in the case ordered on Friday, saying that Cohen's constitutional rights could be endangered if the lawsuit proceeds while he is under criminal investigation. District Judge James Otero wrote in the order, the court finds that there is a large potential factual overlap between the civil and criminal proceedings that would heavily implicate Mr. Cohen's Fifth Amendment rights, referring to the Constitution's protection against self-incrimination. Cohen has admitted to paying $130,000 to Stormy Daniels to secure her silence about having sex with Donald Trump, which he denies. Cohen said the payment was legal and Daniels has sued to end her non-disclosure agreement. Michael Avenatti, a lawyer for Stormy Daniels, promptly pledged to fight the stay, writing on Twitter he would file an immediate appeal to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit in California, which could ultimately lead to the Supreme Court weighing in. Otero wrote, whether or not an indictment is forthcoming, and the court thinks it is likely based on these facts alone, these unique circumstances counsel in favor of a stay. Daniels has argued that the lawsuit should proceed, with Cohen invoking the Fifth Amendment only for specific questions that might lead to self-incrimination. But Otero wrote that approach could lead Cohen to not answering any questions, rendering a deposition useless. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following this afternoon's arrest of Congress on the charge of over 23 million counts of manslaughter, our reporter spoke to Mark Westnick from Savannah, Georgia, just one of the many Americans that has lost a loved one due to the legislative branch's criminal negligence.
Because of Congress, my 23-year-old son died 2 years ago in Afghanistan. My nephew, he lost his leg in Iraq in 2006, and my brother died in Vietnam in 1969. Congress killed my family.
Defense attorneys for the now incarcerated 538-member group have dismissed the claims made by Westnick and other victims and released a statement saying their client has been, quote, a pillar of the national community for over 200 years and completely innocent of any and all wrongdoing. Keep checking theonion.com for more as this story develops.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Hey, welcome back. It's Free Talk Live. This is Chris.
And Mark. Yeah, you can give us a call at 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. We are live. If it's between 7p and 10p Eastern Time, where you are, we are live 7 days a week. We always have somebody here on Free Talk Live.
Absolutely. Christmas, Thanksgiving.
It's the truth.
It's every day.
Yeah, we do it. I cannot remember the last time we put a recorded show on Free Talk Live. It's been a very long time. We've always got somebody here taking your calls and letting you talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. Tonight, we have been, and there's nothing saying that you have to talk about this, but we've been talking about how gun control laws aren't going to stop mass shootings. And this is a story from Yahoo.com, Yahoo News' news arm here. Mm-hmm. The United States does not have an extraordinary problem with mass public shootings compared to other developed countries. After adjusting for population differences, many other developed countries have worse problems with mass shootings than, they're saying developed countries, by the way, not just countries, developed countries, worse problems with mass public shootings than the United States has. There were 27% more casualties per capita from mass public shootings in the European Union than the United States from 2009 to 2015.
Yeah, and there's always a couple outliers here. Norway comes in at number one, but they had a horrendous mass shooting. Do you remember the guy? He went to
an island.
An island, right? And it was like a summer camp or something like that, and it was a really high number of fatalities. It was tragic, but that kind of skewed Norway to the top. But other countries you have, Serbia, the France numbers that I'm looking at, I think were prior to the Charlie Hebdo shootings, which was terrorism, but it's still a mass shooting.
Yeah, that's what people are talking about,
right?
You know, I mean, how can you take that out? It's an ideological issue. Do you want to take out people who shoot people over ideological differences here? That's going to eliminate the Unabomber, too, from mass killings.
Right, and I find it disingenuous when it only talks about mass shootings. It's not about mass shootings, it's about mass killings. If you value human life and someone's life is taken, it should not matter how that life was taken, whether it happens to be a Canadian truck or whether it happens to be, a big, semi in Nice, France, if it happens to be if it's a mass bombing, if it's an Oklahoma City bombing, those are mass killings. That should be what troubles us and why those things occur, not the tool.
Right, and even sometimes after mass killings, they still want to ban guns as though guns did
right.
it. I don't know. Let's go to Matthew calling in from Louisiana. Matthew, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, so I figured out how to listen to Free Talk Live podcasts on Google Play.
Nice.
And I'd like to thank y'all
You're
for
welcome.
a week of red pills. I feel like I've been on a diet of them.
Well,
great.
The easiest thing to do, I think, is just to go to freetalklive.com and start your search there. I think listen.freetalklive.com would probably be the best place to go. I don't know much I can't speak to Google Play or any of these other particular forms. I don't listen to the show on podcast, so I don't know everything about it. I know Ian spends a lot of time, and he's very familiar.
Yep.
Well, I have to use a method that I can download at my house where I have the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
as opposed to use up my data, which is like,
Don't do that.
Yeah, there's not a lot there, and iTunes just gobbles it up, but you playing it on YouTube just like zips right through because you've got a video stream too.
There you go.
That's really cool. So any particular subjects that struck you?
Oh, Lord, all of them, like the Fourth Amendment thing about stopping the Greyhound bus. And
talked about that last Thursday.
With Heather, who I believe is, I don't know, she sounds more like a conservative than a libertarian, sort of libertarian-ish.
Yeah,
I'll take my libertarians of all stripes. I'm fine with that, and we're all on a path to learning more about the ideas of liberty. So if she doesn't fit in entirely, well, that's good. Conflict is good for talk radio.
I've said it before. I mean, no offense, Mark, but some of the most boring shows for me, it's usually when there's three of us in here and we all agree on everything.
Yeah,
it's like, geez, come on. So I really appreciate doing shows with Heather because she frequently takes rather, some would say status, but I would say a traditional conservative viewpoint on a lot of things, and it's a good opportunity for me to practice my arguments.
Well, no, she's like a nice polar opposite to Melanie, who is like, holy cow, lady, the police are just doing the job we hired them to do.
She's like a pit bull taken off the chain. There's no doubt about it. Matthew, thanks for the call.
We appreciate it. Yeah, that is polarity right there.
It's the fun of working on talk radio. Let's go to Michael calling in for Virginia Beach, Virginia. Michael, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, I think there's a parallel between this movement to try to disarm Americans, to try to erase the Second Amendment, and another movement which is trying to disarm American intelligence and counterintelligence agencies, principally the FBI and the CIA.
Okay,
now,
draw the parallel for me.
Well, here's the parallel. We're being told by many voices in the media, especially right-wing talk radio, that former director James Comey committed a crime. This is what they're saying constantly. And many of these people are not lawyers, but there are some lawyers out there doing it too, stupid lawyers who don't understand the law as regards intelligence and the difference between intelligence collection and criminal investigation.
Well, the problem with crimes is that, I mean, even the Supreme Court's, when it hands down a decision, it calls it an opinion.
Right.
So, I mean, exactly what is a conviction but an opinion?
Well, here's the thing on Comey.
Okay.
Now, he is being accused of having taken some notes and passed them to a friend of his, including an FBI Justice Department prosecutor by the name of Fitzgerald. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the problem with that. The most accused FBI director in history was the man who replaced J. Edgar Hoover on the day that he died. And what happened within a month of him becoming the new acting director of the FBI, I'm talking about L. Patrick Gray.
Take your word for it.
Within a month, the Watergate break-in.
Okay.
Okay. Now, are you there?
I'm listening.
Yeah, we're listening.
Okay. Okay. Now, what did he do in defending himself for 8 years against 5 federal grand juries and several congressional committees and hearings trying to crucify this man? He took 8 years to prove his innocence. He was completely exonerated. He is still being accused by prominent members of the press of having been part of this conspiracy, even though he was not indicted. He has not been charged. He was not put on trial. But it cost
sounds like a
him
slander
dearly.
suit.
Right.
Or libel.
It cost him dearly to defend himself. But here's what he did. He took out of his FBI office 45 boxes of personal material, and he ultimately was given a medium-sized panel truck load of FBI material to defend himself.
All right. Well, it all sounds like politics to me. I guess I don't know. Thanks for the call, Michael. I'd appreciate it. 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live.
Raising you wasn't all Skittles and unicorns, but you turned out pretty awesome thanks to Mom. Look, Mother's Day is coming. It's her big day. Mom's Day is Bouquets Day. Bouquets. That's short for bouquets, and these flowers are bouquing awesome. Mom don't want online sweatshop flowers that wilt in 2 days. Your mom deserves flowers from the Bouquets. Bouquets flowers are as unique and special as your mom. They're freshly cut from Bouquets farms and delivered straight to your mom, so they last weeks, not days. Bouquets even has farms located on the side of a volcano that produce flowers so gorgeous Mom will post pics of them and brag about you. And because Bouquets cuts out the middlemen, you'll get amazingly fresh flowers at an amazing price. Show Mom how much you care. Send her artisan design flowers from Bouquets. Order today and get an extra 15% off when you enter FTL. That's BOUQS.com, and remember to enter FTL to save an extra 15%. Bouquets, BOUQS.com, and use code FTL to save an extra 15%.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. You can call in and talk about whatever you want to talk about here on Free Talk Live. We have been across the board this evening.
It always happens that way.
It does. I mean, it's an open line show, so people call in to talk about what they want to talk about. What we've been talking about this evening is the reasons that gun control aren't going to stop mass shootings in the United States. And I thought number 4 was pretty interesting when they said that there's 27% more casualties per capita from mass public shootings in the European Union than in the U.S. from 2009 to 2015.
Yeah.
So apparently it's, I mean, that's Europe.
Right.
Here in the United States, we've got 2 guns for every human being.
Yeah, and per capita is a completely different way of looking at it.
Indeed. Mother's Day sneaks up on us, and we hit the panic button. We get suckered into online flower giants pitching $19.99 flowers that end up costing $60, or we grab last-minute produce department flowers that smell oddly like green onions. That tells Mom you don't care enough to send the flowers from the Bouquets. The Bouquets is short for bouquets, and they are bouquing awesome. Bouquets flowers are unique and special as your mom is. They're freshly cut from Bouquets Farms, delivered straight to your door, or your mom's door in that case, so that they last for weeks. Matter of fact, we just got some flowers today from the Bouquets, and they look great. And they showed up, and we popped them in some water, and we followed the little instructions. They give you some little instructions on how to take care of them. It's great. Some of their farms are even located on the side of a volcano, and they produce flowers so gorgeous that Mom will post pics of them and brag about you to her friends. And because Bouquets cut out the middleman, you'll get amazingly fresh flowers at an amazing price. Show Mom how much you care. Send her artisan design flowers from the Bouquets. Order today and get an extra 15% off when you enter FTL. That's FTL as in Free Talk Live. It's BOUQS.com. And remember to enter FTL to save 15%. Books.com. Let's go to Mike calling in from Indianapolis. Mike, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi. I just have a short comment about how to ease the fears of the masses over this nasty-looking black rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Just paint them breast cancer pink, complete with the little ribbons.
Great
and
idea.
They'll fall for it every time.
I think that's probably what it is, yeah. I've actually seen Hello Kitty ARs.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I saw. What's that?
That would be great. That would be great.
Yeah. I saw one person outfit their AR with in like DeWalt black and yellow, and they shoved a battery in where the magazine goes. That's obviously a joke. By the way, folks, if you see that, that is not a nail gun. Okay, it's just a joke on the internet. It's a clever joke, and whoever did it did a really good job. It looks very, very genuine, but nonetheless, I think you're right, Mike. We need. The problem with these happier colors, pastels and all that is you got to clean the weapon that much more. It's got to be, you got to go over it and clean it.
Well, yeah, there is that, and there's also the tactical question of it's sort of like the redcoats. Do you want to be walking around in a gunfight with a bright pink rifle?
Yeah, that's true too.
Well, I have seen camo pink.
I have too.
That's a little more manly.
Yeah, in case you end up in, say, a bounce house or something, you'll blend right in. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, most of my stuff's black or it's flat dark earth. I mean,
that's the color these things come in.
Yeah. I just don't want anything that really stands out.
The thing in guns used to be like polished, highly polished metal with, like really nice wooden handles.
Oh yeah, or just highly polished wood, and for hunting and things like that, that's great. But the AR-15 platform, it's a sporting rifle. It's been around since 1964, and that's before it was ever used in combat. It was available to civilians. And
civilian rifle.
Yeah, it started out as a civilian rifle, and I hate to break that to people, but it's the kind of thing that you can throw in the back of your truck, not really worry about whether you're going to scuff it or scratch it. They are, they're not AK reliable, but they are AR reliable, and they'll take a pretty good beating.
Indeed. Let's go to Vernon calling in from New Orleans. Vernon, you're on Free Talk Live.
Since you don't have Ian there to interrupt you, I wanted to get your opinion real quick. I'm a regular listener to Free Talk Live, and occasionally you all will. It seems like y'all do have a bit of an agenda as far as New Hampshire and the Shire. And I was just curious. I know that you had gotten a bit upset, or apologies if I'm incorrectly articulating what happened. But from what I remember, the Free State Project and you all disagreed and whatever else. And I was just curious what your opinion was on talking so much about local New Hampshire issues on a national talk show, because honestly, when you all start talking about that, I want to tune out, and sometimes I do, and I'm just being honest with you. I think the show is amazing. I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
Yeah. So what I would say is that Free Talk Live is, besides being an open lines current events program where anybody can call in about anything they want to call about, it's pretty obvious that we're a bunch of libertarians on here, right? I don't think we're hiding that.
You outed me. Damn it.
And the difficulty is that we're happy to talk about the activism and the things that are going on that are of a libertarian interest anywhere else in the world. The problem is that they generally aren't happening. So there may be places that are freer than New Hampshire, but there isn't any place where you're going to see libertarian activism either inside the State House or out, or inside a courtroom or out, wherever it might be. You're not going to see the activism. And the activism is something that can be reported on. So if, for instance, you could move to, I don't know, Pitcairn Island and be freer, that may be true. But it's unlikely that you will be surrounded by as many libertarians and be surrounded by the animating conversation that is important to so many libertarians.
Yeah, and we get a lot of local calls too. So, Dave Ridley's like a frequent caller.
Yeah, we get lots of New Hampshire calls.
New Hampshire type calls and things like that. I can say that on the nights that I'm on, I mean, we always at least make a conscious effort not to talk New Hampshire, at least in the stories we bring in. They're national or international stories.
We're probably
for the most
below.
part.
Wouldn't you, Vernon? Would you agree that we're probably below 10% of our conversation focuses on New Hampshire?
It's definitely gotten better, but still, sometimes when y'all bring out the bills and start talking about bills and numbers, and
I'm sorry. Daryl spends his days at the State House going over these bills, and people are going to talk about what's important to them. And
Can I ask you one more question before we run out of time? And y'all can talk about this later.
I'm actually going to hold you over because I feel like I've got more that I want to talk about. Please go ahead.
I wanted to just get your opinion on North Korea and Kim Jong-un, and we got Ian's yesterday, but I would love to hear you two's opinion on that as well.
Sure. Well, all I can say regarding Kim Jong-un is if you're going to give Barack Obama the credit for whatever it is that one wants to give the credit for, or Bill Clinton or George Bush or whomever, you're going to have to give Donald Trump the credit for bringing Kim Jong-un to the table to negotiate peace with Korea. Look, I don't like the guy, but this happened on his watch, and maybe it's because he doesn't put up with any guff. Please hold the line, Vernon.
We'll bring you back.
Yeah, the number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
When you're coping with bad news and the news media come calling, and they will, don't clam up. As notorious political figures find out the hard way, the cover-up can be worse than the crime. So get out in front of unfavorable news about your company, your group, or organization, or yourself. The sooner you confront a negative story, the sooner it will be over. Responding as quickly to negative stories as you do to positive ones enhances your credibility. Hiding embarrassing information or lying will do more damage than damage control. Never stonewall. Tell your side of the story, use specifics, and detail what corrective action has already been taken. Respond in kind. If the issue is emotional, don't sound like a cold, unemotional Mr. Spock. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. And the number to call in about whatever's on your mind is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. And we're across the board, as we tend to be about this time every show, because we talk about whatever people want to talk about. We are going through a list of 6 reasons why gun control laws are not going to solve mass shootings. But Vernon called in from New Orleans, and he wanted to talk about New Hampshire, which is where this show originates. And he wanted to talk specifically about the migration, what we call the Great Freedom Migration of libertarian types to one state. And the notion is that once we get here, you do sort of whatever you want. And if you have a large enough concentration, that's going to be, have an effect. And it makes sense that it would be the live free or die state. Because, well, it's the live free or die state. And there you go. I want to tell you real quick about Bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com is the best source for news and information on cryptocurrency. Whether you're just getting into it or you're very, very familiar with it, you should head on over to Bitcoin.com. Not only will you get news there, you'll get guides on finding out more, what to do, where to get wallets, which are apps that allow you to hold your money and hold your money or create accounts, that kind of thing. Also, where to get Bitcoin, how to get Bitcoin. They're very, very clear, and they make it so easy at bitcoin.com. Again, it's bitcoin.com. Let's go back to Vernon in New Orleans. Vernon, you're back on Free Talk Live.
Yes. Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so
I cannot hear you all. I guess the feed has dropped out. If you could put me on hold, maybe it'll come back. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So I want one thing Vernon asked that I want to specifically say is that I don't necessarily believe that the Free State Project is right for every libertarian.
Yes, agreed.
That you need to really look at picking up and moving your life, because this can be an extraordinarily expensive operation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, relocating from any state to any state is expensive. And in the Northeast, up here in New England, I should say, we have our own unique expenses that other places don't have. I've never lived anywhere where I paid for snow removal.
Indeed. Also, snow's an issue, right? Like, some people just don't like the cold.
Right.
And, on one hand, I see some people's point that, look, if you can't handle the cold, then we don't need you.
Right.
And that's kind of how I feel about the Free State Project, is that you should be able to handle a little bit of, sort of people telling you not to come, because if you still want to come after hearing maybe some of the downside, then you're probably the right person.
Yeah.
So if you want to find out more, you can go to shiresociety.org, and we've got all kinds of information there about moving to New Hampshire and that sort of thing. Let's go to John calling in from Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, in case you didn't know. John, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
Hey, not so much.
Hey, I just got a question. I was listening when you guys your last break. You guys were talking about libertarian, being libertarians and all that stuff, and and the Donald Trump thing, not liking Donald Trump. And I got a couple questions. Just,
sure.
One, just kind of being new to following politics. Quite honestly, didn't like what was going on with like Barack Obama, all that good stuff.
Okay.
And quite honestly, I would have voted for Bigfoot if he had a good, message.
Yeah.
Right.
So as far as now, this is where I'm a little confused because I know I'm not liberal, Democrat. I don't think I'm Republican because a lot of the things I don't agree with 100%. And libertarian, I do agree, at least as far as less government.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's what I think.
So, I'm sorry?
That's what I think.
We're agreeing with you.
So now as far as libertarian, I don't understand, I guess, quite. I don't know. It just kind of seems like I know Donald Trump is in. He's trying to take care of a lot of things, to undo a lot of things that Obama did.
Right.
And he is. Essentially, he is government. But how does something like Donald Trump affect libertarian as far as just as far as his agenda? Because I know a lot of people to build the wall, and I know he's 100% gun, not about gun control, stuff like that. So how does that kind of tie to your guys' agenda?
Well,
or at least the way that your politics, at least.
Right. Donald Trump affects libertarians like he affects everybody else. We're all subject to the effects of what gets done and what comes out of Washington. But as on a philosophical issue, libertarianism is really stupid simple. If you really boil it down, it's don't attack each other. And the only time you can use violence should be to defend yourself. And you can dispense with all the rest of the philosophy, and if you just boil it down to that, just don't hurt anybody else, and don't violate their rights, and that's it. So when Trump does things that libertarians appreciate, like standing up somewhat against gun control, then we say that's a great thing. But don't forget, you're also saying, we have to keep people out of our country who maybe resources that our country could use. They may provide a benefit to our country by being here. So it's sort of a give and take.
I can see that. I can honestly see that. But on the next that other side of the coin. Now you don't want to attack anybody. Or violence. Unless you're being attacked or what have you.
Mm-hmm. But
now look at like with the Syrian thing, he bombed Syria because they gassed their people,
right? Or
so,
allegedly.
To me, allegedly, there you go.
Yeah.
But we'll just say that just everything's black and white. It did happen. This happened.
All right.
We bombed them back. Now, why? I don't understand why that would be a bad thing. Just because, yes, of course, war, killing
it's arbitrary.
Itself,
that's the reason. So if Syria decides to kill a handful of its citizens with gas and then you decide to bomb them over that, it seems really silly considering they're killing a whole bunch of their citizens with bombs and bullets.
Right.
So if you're going to stay out of it, stay the hell out of it.
Right.
If you're going to get in it, well, go ahead and ruin it like you did Iraq, ruin it like you did Libya. Just go ahead and ruin it.
Right.
So that's what I say.
That makes sense, because he did say when he was running, he did say that he wanted to focus more on the United States.
But he also wanted to build the military, which doesn't make any sense to me. I don't want to build things that you blow up and you don't have anything of value there. I want to build things like, if the government is to build things, I'd like to build things like bridges and roads and infrastructure.
Well, there's this it's a very strong conservative idea that, we need a very strong defense, but we Republicans will stop using it arbitrarily. So we're going to build all these brand new toys, but then trust us, we're not going to go in and do nation building like we have in the past and like other administrations have. And That's just not how it works. That's not real world.
And I don't think either of us here, I voted for Gary Johnson for president, but if I couldn't have voted third party or minor party, I think is how we prefer to say it here. If I couldn't have voted minor party, I would have either sat out or voted for Trump because I just couldn't stomach Hillary.
Right. No way there.
And that's, I mean, to me, she was the epitome of huge government and just, doing everything to benefit her and her own. You know what I mean? So,
but the national debt hit $21 trillion under Trump,
right?
And it's not going down. And I wish he would really focus on that. John, thank you for the call, though. I appreciate it. These are great questions, right? Like this is, what do libertarians think about Donald Trump? And the answer is, well, jury's out and depends on the libertarian.
Generally, not much.
Yeah, well, there you go. The government is libertarian, so, it's much more difficult. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Free Talk Live.
How dare you, and who do you think you are? I mean, it's my life, it's my business. I should be able to run it how I want to, and my customers should be able to make the choice for themselves as to whether or not they want to do business with me. And they should be able to make that choice based on the quality of my product or my reputation or the fact that I've got third-party certification or whatever factors they deem important. If I'm doing business and you don't trust me or you think I'm shady, then you don't have to do business with me. In fact, you can tell other people what you think about my business and my practices, and maybe they also will join you in not doing business with me. There's no need for government regulations out there. The marketplace can handle third-party certification of various different products and services to where people who are concerned about whether or not the business they're dealing with is trustworthy can check with a verifiable resource that indeed this is a trustworthy individual or a trustworthy company that you're doing business with.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. It is Mark with you this evening.
And Chris.
You can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. That's what we do here on Free Talk Live. I want to go back to the phones real quick. Go to Vernon calling back. He had some phone issues, and generally we'll let you call back. It's one call a night generally, but if there's problems. So, Vernon, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just wanted to finish up real quick. I'm glad that you all have the Shire and that you all promote that. It just sometimes comes off as an agenda item, and I'm not
Everybody's
saying that you
got
all
an
are
agenda.
serious about it. Well, it's real true, but I don't know. I'm just making a comment. Y'all can take it as you want.
Sure.
And then the last thing, Mark, I hope you'd never leave this show because, and I wish you could call in through Skype or something whenever you're gone and it's only Ian, because Ian is on one extreme and you're moderate, and it's what tempers the show and it makes it much more tolerable. And I want to thank you all again for taking my follow-up.
Yep, thanks so much for the call,
Thanks
Vernon.
a lot.
And I do get that a lot, right? Like that I'm the voice of reason on the show. I don't know. I do try to be reasonable, but at the same time, you need somebody with the passion that Ian has in order to do what Free Talk Live has done. And to be very blunt about it, Free Talk Live is a real anomaly in the area of talk radio. There isn't much out there like us. Michael Harrison, who is the publisher of Talkers Magazine, one time on one of his events, it's been a few years, he basically pointed out Ian and I and said that we had done the impossible in talk radio. By the way, I wish somebody had told me it was impossible when we had started this, because I wouldn't have dumped as much time in it as I had. But that we had created, just two guys had created a talk show, and now we're on more than 100, I think it's 185 radio stations right now across the U.S. and, territories and all that sort of thing. And we have a huge reach, and we're broadcasting the message of liberty, unlike other shows out there who are, Republican, Democrat, and, we're able to get on both of these stations.
Right.
Because we're less distasteful than the other guy.
It cracks me up. I was so amazed when I found Free Talk Live, because I was a talk radio junkie. I listened to left and right, made fun of both of them, tried to figure out something entertaining from either one, but I just loved the idea. And then I remember searching on my Roku and finding you guys when I searched for Liberty.
Interesting.
It was really odd, and been a fan ever since.
Yep. Let's stop stroking each other here. Let's go to Joe calling in Grand Rapids. Joe, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, the whole debate with gun control, libertarians really need to get behind this. This isn't just a Democrat, Republican thing.
I don't think libertarians have ever left the gun control issue.
Well, I don't know. I know a lot of people that just like to sit in the sidelines and snipe at both sides.
Okay.
Sometimes you got to suck it up and vote for the guy who's not
you mean
a
voting?
communist.
Okay. So voting is an activism. Okay. To be clear, let me talk to you about mathematics real quick. I don't know. You're in Michigan. I can't tell you what the vote totals were for the electoral votes in the state of Michigan. If you're talking specifically about Donald Trump, but I can tell you in New Hampshire that it was more than one vote that separated Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump in the state of New Hampshire. So if I had voted instead for Donald Trump, rather than having voted for Gary Johnson, was who I voted for, then it still wouldn't have changed the outcome. As a matter of fact, if I were to give you the superpower to go back in history and to change any vote outcome in any state by 100 votes, it still that would make you 100 times as powerful of a voter as you are today. It would still not change the outcome of one single election in American history. So voting is not the issue. The issue is education.
Well, yeah, I agree with that. It was 10,000 votes that he won in Michigan, which is close. But
relatively speaking,
this gun control issue, you know, you look at countries where they've taken the gun rights away from the citizens. They go after free speech. They go after due process. They go after all of it. Yeah. There's a YouTube guy who made a bad joke on his YouTube channel, and he got convicted for it.
Yeah, this is over in Great Britain. Some guy got convicted of sort of making his pug, teaching his pug to kind of raise its little paw.
The Nazi pug.
And then put like a little Nazi outfit on the pug, and just made a joke of it. And they put, I think it was 8 months or 7 months.
It was huge, and you look at what Britain is doing now with they're trying to stamp out all knife crime. Because they have no guns, but their murder rates are higher than in London than they are in New York.
London's higher than New York City.
Right.
These statists, they want to control every aspect of your life, and it starts with disarming you, and then they'll start by shutting you up, and then you'll basically, you'll have no rights to the court of law. I mean, you can look at history and look at it's like a domino. It starts with one thing, leads to another, leads to another, and there's a segment of our country that they'd love to shut up small government people.
Sure.
They would.
They'd love to. I mean, do you think the people that run California wouldn't love to get their hands in D.C.? I mean, those types of people.
They should go off and do their own thing.
Well, they're pretty much doing it. I got one question for you.
I would support that. Okay.
Yeah. And I ask this of a lot of pro Second Amendment, pro gun rights guys is, when is enough enough? When does it switch from us trying to sway votes, sway politicians, us anti-protesting against gun laws and things like that? When does it become too much? When do the gun owners of America actually take action, take it into their own hands, and say, no, we're done living in tyranny. We're not going to go down this path?
Well, we do our little rallies. We do our marches on the state capitals. I think when it comes to the point where, and I hope it never happens, but if it comes to the point where they start kicking in people's doors and demanding their guns,
right?
I think then it's going to be bad. And we outnumber them. That's the problem. People forget this. Mm-hmm. The citizens outnumber the government in this country.
Yeah, but the citizens are completely divided. Right. I think what really comes down, people are always talking about civil wars and these sorts of things. I don't know why in the world they think they want to fight civil wars against the gun owners. I mean, talk about a losing battle.
Well, if that's your tipping point, then it's happening right now in Washington State after they've passed all their victim rights laws and things like that. They are knocking down doors, taking guns from people that have not been convicted of a crime.
It's scary. It's scary. You could have some of these states are coming up with these laws. You could have an ex-wife who hates your guts, and all of a sudden she just accuses you of something, to threaten her, and here you go. You got the police kicking in your door, taking all your guns.
That has never happened.
Stuff like that.
There has never been a woman that has said that untruly said that some man did. I don't even know where the hell I'm going. It's so ridiculous.
You know what? People lie.
They lie. People lie, and it's
and
not just people with 2 X chromosomes.
Right.
People lie.
Yeah.
But that's my real question. I mean, and the pro-gun, I'm one of them. I've been one of them. I've been to rallies. I've testified before, state legislatures and things like that. I am one of them. But at what point do people take the next step? And it's really hard for people to pin down. It usually comes down to what you say, and it's like, well, if they came door to door, that would be too much. But again,
it's tough because we're lucky we have 50 states. You got people from California moving to free states, and other states like that, New York, whatever. But, I guess you got to weigh, is it worth putting your family in danger over me owning this gun? It's a tough decision, man. I can't make it for somebody else.
I can't either, and I will say that being disarmed is putting your life in danger.
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Self-preservation is the first law of nature. I think it was Samuel Butler said that. And it's true. No animal, except for us humans, begs the government for the right to defend ourselves.
Right.
And
the first tools that were created were likely, I mean, you know, that what was it, the 2001 where the hominid, you know, picks up this femur would be a really great thing to brain me a tapir or whatever that little pig thing was that was around. Right. And, you know, then he clobbers the tapir, and then this would be a good way to handle this other tribe that ran us away from the watering hole. He clobbers the other tribe's lead ape or whatever. Yeah, I mean, that's what tools are for. Thanks for the call. Really appreciate it. Yep, thanks for the call, Joe.
All right, bye.
The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Or you can use Skype. Our username is LRN. That's as in Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM. 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of April 28th and 29th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.53 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,324 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $41, and the average price of Bitcoin is $9,065. Antiwar.com reports President Trump said Friday that he is encouraged by the summit between North and South Korea. This added to his administration expressing high hopes about Trump's own upcoming meeting with North Korea's Kim Jong-un. The Friday meeting between Kim and South Korean President Moon Jae-in ended with the agreement to move towards denuclearization and a peace deal to end the Korean War. The Korean War started in 1950 and was never officially ended. While Trump has been cautious about the meeting with Kim, he has also praised the North Korean leader's recent diplomatic efforts. On Friday, Trump assured that he would not repeat the mistakes of past administrations in dealing with North Korea. Despite media reporting aimed at discouraging diplomacy with North Korea, President Trump has continued to advance the process towards talks. It is expected that the talks will take place in late May or early June. According to Trump, 5 locations are under consideration, as are 3 or 4 possible dates. That the two Koreas had their summit so successfully will only bolster the expectations for Trump to make a big deal in his own summit. This is likely to mean further pushback from media opponents of the talks who seek to portray them as doomed to failure. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. UPI reports a passenger on board the Southwest Airlines flight that had an engine failure that killed one person last week sued the Dallas-based airline Friday for neglect, according to court documents. Lilia Chavez accused Southwest Airlines and CFM International, the maker of the engines installed on the Boeing 737, of negligence and willful, wanton, and outrageous conduct. The suit by Chavez is the first to be filed over Flight 1380, which made an emergency landing on April 17th in Philadelphia en route from New York City to Dallas. Investigators said a fan blade in one of the engines broke away from metal fatigue and debris struck the side of the plane, breaking one of the windows. One passenger was partially sucked out of the broken window, but other passengers were able to pull her back inside the aircraft. The woman, Jennifer Riordan, died from her injuries. Chavez said in her lawsuit she was sitting 3 seats behind the broken window and witnessed the horror as the woman was pulled out of the plane. She said the blast of air from the broken window caused debris to strike her and obstructed her breathing. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports adult film star Stormy Daniels' lawsuit against U.S. President Trump's personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, will be paused for 90 days. The federal judge in the case ordered on Friday, saying that Cohen's constitutional rights could be endangered if the lawsuit proceeds while he is under criminal investigation. District Judge James Otero wrote in the order, the court finds that there is a large potential factual overlap between the civil and criminal proceedings that would heavily implicate Mr. Cohen's Fifth Amendment rights, referring to the Constitution's protection against self-incrimination. Cohen has admitted to paying $130,000 to Stormy Daniels to secure her silence about having sex with Donald Trump, which he denies. Cohen said the payment was legal and Daniels has sued to end her non-disclosure agreement. Michael Avenatti, a lawyer for Stormy Daniels, promptly pledged to fight the stay, writing on Twitter he would file an immediate appeal to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit in California, which could ultimately lead to the Supreme Court weighing in. Otero wrote, whether or not an indictment is forthcoming, and the court thinks it is likely based on these facts alone, these unique circumstances counsel in favor of a stay. Daniels has argued that the lawsuit should proceed, with Cohen invoking the Fifth Amendment only for specific questions that might lead to self-incrimination. But Otero wrote that approach could lead Cohen to not answering any questions, rendering a deposition useless. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Hailing it as the industry's most innovative product to date, global cosmetics brand Maybelline released its long-awaited Ideal Woman Rubber Mask this week, a thick latex facial covering worn over the head in lieu of makeup.
By simply yanking it over your face, you can instantly achieve a fresh look that conforms to Western ideals of beauty. Essentially, you can just roll out of bed, stretch the latex urethane rubber beauty mask over your natural face, and boom, you're ready to start your day. Forget concealer, powder, blush, or mascara. Now you can achieve a look that adheres to the conventional standard of feminine perfection in seconds.
It's incredible. You immediately see the difference. The very first time I tried it on, my pores were minimized, my skin tone was more even, and all of the idiosyncratic little wrinkles, physical imperfections, and tiny irregularities that make my face unique were erased.
I don't spend a lot of time on makeup anyway, but now all I need to do is yank this thing over my head, and that's it. I'm conventionally attractive. I mean, this gives me so much more time to find an outfit that makes my body look thin and socially acceptable.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live is live, even on Saturday.
Right.
If it's between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time, we are live 7 days a week. And I don't care if it's Christmas, Thanksgiving. It doesn't matter. We're here. It's Mark with you.
And Chris.
And you can call us at 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. And this evening, we have been talking about, among other things, this Yahoo News story, the 6 reasons why banning gun control won't work to stop mass shootings. And, well, I pretty much agreed with everything so far. Let's go to the phones and the fun here, though. We've got Troy on the line from California. Troy, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, guys. How are you?
All's well. What's on your mind?
Great.
First-time caller and first-time listener. I drive back and forth from Vegas to California every week.
Okay. Quite a commute.
And I don't like to say that I have a particular party. I'm a patriot at heart. I served in the military, and I'm very proud of our country and where we live.
Mm-hmm.
Being from Vegas and spending a lot of time there, the mass shooting out in Las Vegas at that concert in October hit really hard.
Yeah.
And then I have 4 kids, and all these shootings at the schools that have literally, skyrocketed out of control is just absolutely frightening, terrifying. And when I look at the shooters and the particular situations that happened during that time, like that guy at Mandalay Bay that shot down on that crowd. He had multiple automatic weapons and like
semi-automatic weapons.
No automatic weapons.
And then you have the shooters at the school again with weapons, like with kids that are 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand, why would you need all these weapons? What do you need all these weapons for? If you want a weapon to protect your family and your home, I understand that, okay? But enough is enough. Like, these kids are getting murdered in school. You can't even go to school anymore and feel safe. You go to a concert and people are shooting down into a concert. And this isn't the first concert it's happened at. It's happened in other places as well.
Right.
And you can't, and we're losing control. We're losing control, and
well, I'm not sure the control was ever had.
Innocent lives.
To be clear,
Right.
Troy, I'm not sure that we ever had control. Okay, so mass shootings, as we're reading through this story here, mass shootings aren't new. They aren't increasing. They're at rates of the 70s and 80s, or excuse me, the 80s and 90s currently. And so, as upsetting it is, and it certainly is. I'm not sure that the control ever existed.
What has changed, and has certainly changed, is the amount of media exposure that these attacks receive. And, what's different now than in, say, the 1970s or the 1960s is we're on a 24-hour news cycle. And I'll tell you what crushes my soul is to see a 4 or a 5-year-old girl at a gun control rally looking like she is terrified to go to school because she's going to be next. They're going to come in and they're going to shoot up my school. And I hate to be blunt about this, but statistically that just doesn't happen. We see these events. These events have occurred for an awfully long time, and there's other ways that mass murderers kill. It's not how they are killed. I feel no more or no less sympathetic for the people that were killed in Las Vegas going to a concert just out to have a good time than I do for the people that were murdered in Canada by some guy with a truck, or the knife stabbings that occurred in China just recently in a school there. I don't care about what weapon was used. What I care about is why people become homicidal. And you can take away all the guns you want, but when it comes down to it, you still need that homicidal person who has, for whatever reason, just decided that this is the best choice that they can make right now. And I don't get that.
Okay, I grew up in the 70s, so I don't really remember a lot of different school shootings. And I know a lot of it has to do with media and coverage and the ability to get news stories out across the entire country at the snap of a finger. But I just don't remember that many shootings happening in schools in particular. And then I think, I don't know, maybe like we need to find a way to screen gun owners better, like maybe psychological testing or some sort of.
Doesn't work.
Right now, like you these people that are doing these shootings, they are homicidal. They're suicidal. They end up killing themselves half the time in the incident.
I wish they'd start there. Start there. Kill yourself first, and if you still feel like you got to do something, then go kill somebody else.
Me too, man. I'm with you. If you're going to kill yourself, that's your own business.
Right.
Don't do it. But please don't hurt everyone else in the process.
Yeah. Thanks for the call.
I really appreciate you guys taking my call, and I hope to call and talk to you about other issues down the line.
Please do. Thank you so much for the call.
Yeah. Do you remember the song, the Boomtown Rats, I Don't Like Mondays?
I know the song.
Right. I don't like Mondays.
Yeah.
Yes, it's karaoke night here on Free Talk Live. But that was written about a 70s school shooting. A girl, which was very, very rare, was very depressed, lived across the street from an elementary school. Her father got her a rifle for Christmas, and she said she actually wanted a radio. And she started shooting. She killed the principal, and a number of other people were, I think, killed and injured. And when the police went to ask her, why did you do this heinous act? I don't like Mondays.
Wow. Let's go to Joe, calling in from Virginia. Joe, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, what's up?
What's on your mind?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, good, thanks. Go ahead.
Good. Well, I was talking to your call taker. Again, disclosure, I'm on lunch. I'm in law enforcement. I just happened to be on lunch flipping through channels, and I was it was very refreshing to hear the open communication between all different parties.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so what are your thoughts, Joe?
As far as your gun control, I think what a lot of people don't get into or don't want to get into, because it's more of an emotional response to say, yeah, we need gun control. The reality is, I've been in law enforcement for over 18 years. People that have guns and do bad things are committing crimes. Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
Yes. I agree completely. And I can't emphasize that enough. You have to have someone who is homicidal. That's not a normal human state. And you know that as well as anybody. You have to deal with that sort of thing.
Correct. Typically what you'll find is a homicidal or suicidal ideation, and it's suicidal by whatever, by police or whatever. And typically the people, when we start outlawing guns, it's not the law-abiding citizen. In my 18 years, I've never had an open carry person or a concealed carry person give me any grief. Typically, it's a guy that runs from the car, they just committed the bank robbery or whatever.
Right.
Yep, that's generally how it goes. You're not going to find.
Too often, it's an emotional thing for people to, and it is a tragedy what has happened.
Yeah, it's terrible
when somebody dies.
And that's the political movements where they use these people who are in the throes of grief to get to push their agenda from an emotional standpoint. And I realize humans tend to make emotional decisions and very rarely make logical decisions. That's one of the reasons that I'm so happy that people are calling in and that we're talking about this tonight is that that doesn't seem to be a lot of evidence that banning these things really works. Joe, thank you for the call, and please call in again in the future. We appreciate your perspective. Thank you.
Sure.
Oops, cut him off there. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dinovite.com. With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dinovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dinovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dinovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com. I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Talking about, well, guns tonight here on Free Talk Live. And specifically, it was an article from Yahoo here where it says 6 reasons why banning, the gun control won't stop mass shootings. And, I haven't seen any good evidence from the other side on this. It seems to be largely, emotional stuff. And I understand it's emotional. People being shot is emotional.
Yes.
But public policy shouldn't be.
Yeah, and it's tough to divorce those, and I think both sides react emotionally. Whenever one of these events happen, it begins generally on the anti-gun side, who will blame everything on the tool used by the homicidal mass murderer, and then you'll have this knee-jerk reaction of people on the right, and now it seems to be to attack anyone who was promoting that, as the case in the Florida students, some of those that were more outspoken.
Yep, I'll get right to the calls here shortly, but I want to tell you about Zencash. So Bitcoin was great technology when it came out in 2009. And blockchain tech has been being adopted in industries around the world, but when it comes to currency transactions, you don't always want your transactions on public display for everyone to see forever and ever. And that's what makes Zencash so great. It's a privacy option for transaction. It has a privacy option for transactions and messaging using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash has more than 8,000 secure nodes, making it one of the most secure networks of any cryptocurrency. And Zencash is made by voluntarists with the idea of voluntary interaction being embodied right in their white paper. Zencash has better tech than their competition. Learn more at zencash.com. Again, it's zencash.com. Let's go to Scott in Indiana. Scott, you're on Free Talk Live.
Good to hear from you again, Mark.
Hey, thanks, Scott.
Yeah, I was just going to start with saying that I don't really give these people who seek to ban guns, especially the politicians, the benefit of the doubt that their intentions are good at all. I don't buy it at all. I look at them as I look at people throughout history who've sought to disarm the populace as they see that this is a means to an end, and what they do is the first thing they do is they take away the guns, and then they start taking away everything else. And look no further than, and it starts with violence, usually low intensity violence, and it becomes worse. Just as you cited earlier, in Great Britain with the guy, and the guy you cited, by the way, he goes by the moniker Count Dankula on YouTube, and he trained his pug to do these Nazi salutes. And by the way, he wasn't even dressing the dog in Nazi uniforms. He was just making little jokes. And the whole joke was sort of like Mel Brooks doing Springtime for Hitler in The Producers. And it was just a play on it. What would be the worst thing that the most unexpected thing that a cute little pug dog would do? I know, let's act like Hitler. Well, Dankula is far from a Nazi, but in Great Britain, a lot of people don't know, they don't have a First Amendment and they don't have a Second Amendment.
Right. They pretty much don't have freedom of speech anywhere in the world except for the United States. And this is one thing that I like to say here about the United States. If you want me to say something good about the United States, we can complain. Like, we have the ability to complain, and they really can't say anything about it.
They will sometimes, and don't let me try to convince anyone that our First Amendment rights aren't constantly under attack. But at least the courts tend to side with us occasionally on that one.
Yeah, it's better than most.
You have to say so. And George Orwell said it very concisely. He said, if you want to know who your masters are, look at whom you're not allowed to criticize.
So who aren't we allowed to criticize, Scott?
It seems like the government, largely, but also some favored
critiquing
groups
the
who are
government
working hand in
constantly.
glove with.
I mean, Donald Trump's not tweeting away because he's everybody loves him. People are critiquing the government.
Yeah.
Well, the other interesting thing is we're already seeing rumblings from people wanting to limit the First Amendment right here. I mean, look at these guys. Whether you like him or not, Milo Yiannopoulos trying to go to speak at Berkeley. What do? They riot. And they riot. Why? Because they don't like his words.
No, that's
his
true.
words.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're free to.
These people openly say that the First Amendment is harmful to them.
That much is absolutely true.
Right.
Colleges around America, not just students, but professors are saying things like, well, free speech is racist because those who are for whatever reason, disadvantaged their speech isn't recognized as much or whatever. And the number is 855-450-3733. I don't know what your color is.
Right.
And I don't care. Okay?
Right.
So you can't say you don't have free speech because I'll let you on the air. You can't say there's some more choice words you can't say. And certainly I'm not going to necessarily disagree with what one says, but yeah, I think it's ridiculous. If you outlaw ideas, you'll never get new good ideas.
Well, let me throw this First Amendment thing at you. Do you feel that the government, some parts of the government are declaring war on the press? Because that's in the First Amendment, too.
I think that I at least is thinking so far as especially these, and Mark was so right to cite the professors. It's even, shocking enough that we have these Antifas, running around clubbing people with bike locks, but professors themselves doing that. I think of these professors as a little more than adjuncts of the government and the people. They're doing the bidding. They're basically like the Madame Defarge of the new anti-freedom revolution.
Okay, so when Trump says he doesn't want anyone from this news agency or that news agency to be in the White House press briefings, or just flat out kicks him out, does that concern you too?
I've got my differences with Trump, and I don't like the way he is constantly on the Twitter machine and all. I think he can be a bit more dignified.
Right.
But I think I look at that more as throwing down a marker to like, look, answer some serious questions instead of clowning around and trying to, paint me as something that I'm not. I mean, I've got my issues, but I look at that as putting down a marker, not a really serious thing. It's like anything else when you do in your bargaining. You bargain way higher than you actually expect to arrive at in the beginning. So you're like, hey, look, would you quit calling me a racist and actually ask real questions instead of turning every press conference into a circus?
Thanks for the call, Scott.
Appreciate it.
So I'm going to handle that. I've got another take on that one, Chris.
Please.
I'd say this. So the press has been complicit with the government in the growth of the state over time.
No
and
argument.
By the growth of the state, I would specifically say the growth of the president's power. Many of the powers that are used by the president, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, George Bush, are manufactured out of whole cloth, and that cloth is not the United States Constitution.
Right.
And the press has been lockstep complicit. They don't ask questions of small government people versus, they just quote the politicians and they just go on as though that's the word of God.
Absolutely.
Well, this is the probable, almost certain future of acting like the Constitution's a doormat, is having the Constitution treated like a doormat. Okay? If the press doesn't want to defend every single one of the rights in the Bill of Rights, then by God, I don't care what happens to CNN's news person. Okay? I just don't care. I mean,
I understand what you're saying, but I do believe that the press provide a crucial oversight in our society.
As the press, I would say that we are the fourth column, right? We are. There's three different areas of government. We're the fourth one. Our job is to bring the truth, but they haven't been doing that for decades.
But
and when you don't do your job, well, you're out the door. Free Talk Live. We should have a Free Talk Live representative in the White House.
Right.
855-450-FREE.
Healthcare reform is confusing, but whether it's finding an affordable insurance plan, keeping your doctor, or being able to afford needed prescriptions, navigating the healthcare system has become a challenge. Control your own healthcare costs and choices with Liberty HealthShare. Liberty HealthShare is not insurance. It is an association of self-pay patients who unite with like-minded people to share the cost of each other's medical needs. Neighbor helping neighbor. Learn more now by going to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Here we're in the midst of the final hour of Free Talk Live. You can call in and talk about whatever's on your mind. We are talking about, well, this article from Yahoo that says the 6 reasons gun control measures won't stop mass shootings. And, well, it's pretty well researched and pretty clear.
Yep.
The number's 855-450-3733. It's Mark with you, by the way.
And Chris.
Let's go to Connor calling in from Myrtle Beach. Connor, you're on Free Talk Live.
How you doing there, Mark and Chris? Good to speak with you guys. I'm kind of new to the radio show. I've been listening to 99.5 for a bit of time now, but
excellent.
I just wanted to say that I've done a little research of my own before the elections with President Trump and Hillary Clinton were going about, and I noticed that Hillary Clinton was had a bunch of different investigations on her in her past. So I'm glad that I chose Trump over Hillary.
She certainly had many investigations and many more scandals behind her. Those that would be her supporters would say, well, these are just people who are trying to silence her and bringing these things up or whatever.
They've been trying to shut her up since she was in the White House. And,
And basically it comes down to the notion that we dislike her because she has 2 X chromosomes. That's not how I don't believe I feel that way. I don't suspect people who necessarily feel that way would always know why they feel that way. But to me, I think this was probably some of the worst choices America's ever been given when it came to politicians. So
yeah, it was a rough year.
But anyways, on the topic of guns, I am for the Second Amendment. I do not own one my own self, but I'm for it nonetheless. If you have a weapon on the table and there's no human contact within that weapon, if once the human hand touches that weapon and it has a finger on that trigger, then that weapon will kill someone.
Good.
But if it's left as is, there's no way for it to pull its own mechanism. It's not a living.
It's an inanimate object. I keep an AR-15 in my living room just to see if it's going to kill me one of these days. And so far, we're about 3 years in, and it seems to be doing okay. It's my own little experiment. Take a picture of it every once in a while. Haven't killed anybody yet? Nope.
One of the things I think about this AR argument is specifically is there's an organization called, I think it's ghostgunner.com, ghostgunner.net. Pardon me if I don't know exactly. I didn't look it up, but it's called the Ghost Gunner. And the Ghost Gunner is a CNC machine. For those that don't know, that's basically a metal routing machine. You put a block of aluminum in and you get an AR lower, and a lower is what the government calls a gun. So you can buy all the little accessories you want and you will have an AR-15 for you can build for $1,700, I think is the number, less than $2,000, and the cost of aluminum. You can outfit a small army in the course of 2 months, and they will all be completely unregistered weapons.
Yep.
And they will function just like another AR. There's nothing that's functionally different. If you tell me you're going to ban ARs, I'm telling you all you're doing is selling CNC machines.
Yeah,
I'd
absolutely.
Have to agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, because you can't stop it.
No.
That's pretty much how I would take the gangs and all of these other criminals that are running around nowadays are kind of acquiring their weapons.
You would
Not a good
think.
thing.
I think mostly what they're getting is stolen weapons. It's like one of the most. So at anybody's house, the things that people want to steal isn't your TV. I just went to Walmart the other day. They had a 48-inch TV for $400. It's not worth it to take your TV off the wall for the $50 that they're going to get to hock the thing. I don't know what it is, but $50 sounds right to me. Maybe jewelry. We don't have jewelry at my house.
Right.
The only thing in your little fireproof box is car titles, for God's sake. I mean, there's nothing to steal in somebody's house besides weapons.
I was reading an article, and it intrigued me because the title was something like 3 things that could make an actual difference in controlling death by firearms. I'll pull up the article. I'll see if I can find it again. But one of the things that they mentioned was gun owners need to be more responsible about leaving their firearms inside their cars. And it's interesting. It's interesting.
It shouldn't be in the car, or should be?
Should not be.
Okay.
You should. I never leave guns in my cars. I mean, the gun stays on me. That's where I know where it's at. But the problem is, and talking to police departments and things like that, they're like the majority of guns that we find that were obtained illegally are stolen, and the majority of those that were stolen out of vehicles. It's just a very simple thing to, especially if you've got a Smith & Wesson bumper sticker for a gangbanger to walk up with a crowbar, crack your window open, and check inside and see if you left a piece in there. So they were saying that was one of the ways that many guns get into the wrong hands. They're not getting in there legally because we already have gazillions of gun laws. I mean, if you've ever been through the process of purchasing a firearm, it's not just like you go through the checkout line at Walmart, which is what they would portray it to be from the anti-gun side. It is detailed, and you'll sign, under penalty of law, a whole bunch of times to get anything. But that's the idea. And to talk about ghost gunners a bit, there have been a couple cases where the shooters did manufacture their own guns, but it's still been really, really rare.
It's pretty rare.
A couple cases in California.
Mostly it's stolen guns. Connor, thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Really appreciate it.
Yep. Number's 855-450-3733. Let's go to Bad Slave. Calling in on Skype. You'll notice the difference in audio quality. Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live.
I hope so.
Indeed.
Thanks, Mark and Chris. Good to talk to you. I, can just... there's so many subjects, but one of the ones that I focus on is the actual true use of most firearms, and that is for self-protection out and about, some in the home, but if it's more often, that there's muggings and what have you going on, or holdups and in stores, that people carrying their own guns they're using these guns not necessarily to put a bullet in someone,
just displaying
just letting people know, you know what? If you keep coming at me, you may end up with a bullet. And they decide not to do anything at that point and run away, go find another target.
They say that's 3 times the amount of crimes that are reported. 3 times that it's just where a gun's displayed and somebody runs off.
Right. And if you look at the limited research, 500,000 to 3 million times per year that guns are used in a way that stops a crime. That's. I wish there were a better study. I wish there were something up to date. And I think.
Well, there was in fact some recent data that was part of a some research that got done. I don't know what the date on it is, but in the last year or two, and it was by the CDC, and they were researching a bunch of other causes of death and risk and what have you. And one of the questions that was in this larger survey was a question about, have you ever been threatened and used your handgun to fend off a threat? And they came up with 2.5 million times in a year in America, and also that number is underreported because people are carrying guns that they don't want anybody else to know about, so they're not gonna report the fact that ever occurred. And
absolutely, if somebody's a convicted felon, they're carrying a gun to protect themselves, they're not going to tell you on some government form they use that gun to protect themselves.
Exactly, and
thanks for the call.
These are always going to be samples. You're never going to survey everybody in the United States, so we're just going to give it our best guess.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Normal blood pressure, naturally. How would that make you feel?
I'm Don from New Mexico. January of 2000, I had a heart attack. Then my real health began going downhill. I had high blood pressure, diabetes, poor vision. I wasn't sleeping well. I was a mess.
Don reports dramatic improvements with Heart and Body Extract.
I started taking Heart and Body Extract. From within a few days, I started sleeping better. My blood pressure normalized. My diabetes normalized. My sleep improved.
Experience these benefits and more when your body heals itself with the assistance of Heart and Body Extract. Order at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305.
And folks, I did not expect this at all. By the 7th, 8th, and 9th day, I saw dramatic improvements from taking Heart and Body Extract.
Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you AMP Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, the final segment of the final hour here. It's Mark with you.
And Chris.
And, well, you know, it's possible we could squeeze you in. The number is 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. If you like the way that we do Free Talk Live, the open lines, the liberty-oriented talk, talking about subjects that aren't necessarily getting talked about by other radio programs and certainly aren't getting talked about them in the same way, please check out our Amplifier program. It's amp.freetalklive.com. That's amp.freetalklive.com. There are some perks that you will enjoy there, including different ways to communicate with the hosts and advertising free podcasts and that sort of thing. It's amp.freetalklive.com. Let's go to Roland calling in from Auburn. Roll Tide, Roland.
Yes. Is this Mark or Ian?
This is Mark. And
yes, Mark,
Chris is sitting in with me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Chris. Yeah, I've spoken, I think, with you before and Ian, and I really appreciated it in the past. But I thought I could bring up something that is very enlightening about the gun debate issue. I do believe in the Second Amendment, and I certainly believe that people have a right to protect themselves and to go hunting and all that. But I'm absolutely convinced, even though a Democratic senator brought up the legislation, tried to get it passed, and I'm registered Republican, I am absolutely convinced he was right in that the Second Amendment is being abused by the gun manufacturers that sell the high-capacity clips and the nuts who buy them to do mass killings. I can't imagine what a hunter or somebody who just needs to protect his home would need with a 30, 40, 50, and God knows how many more bullet clips. Like, is a hunter going to go out and shoot 30 possum, or 50 deer or something?
Are you familiar with what happened during the L.A. riots surrounding Rodney King?
Yeah, I do know that people were defending themselves and their stores, and maybe some of them at that time did have the high-capacity clips, but I'm convinced the gun manufacturers are shooting themselves in the foot with these high-capacity clips that, to me, are more like for the military or just mass killing. And people are buying these clips that are real nutcases, and they're doing mass killings like what happened at Florida.
Well,
if they stop the mass or the high-capacity clips and the guns that will accept them, that these clips can slide into, I think the gist of the problem is that's it. I think
that will keep people from becoming homicidal.
Well, no, not totally. No, because you'll still have people with, let's say, a double-barrel shotgun or a single-barrel shotgun or somebody with just a 6-shot pistol.
How about a truck?
Yeah, or a truck.
Or how about a bomb?
Or bombs. It's not going to stop the killings, but it definitely would alleviate the problem. the people who believe in the
this article we were
Amendment.
reading, they said it took about, and I don't know, I'm not some kind of person who does fast clip changes or anything like that. But the people that do that do these shootings generally practice ahead of time with clip changes, and you're saying clip, I should say magazines. Excuse me, magazine changeovers, and that it takes about 3 seconds, and that 3 seconds isn't enough for anything to matter.
Yeah, I can tell you, and I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those crazy people that goes out and buys 30-round magazines because that's what comes with a rifle, and they're cheap. If 10-round magazines were dramatically less expensive, actually, I probably have a couple of them laying around.
I don't want to do the work. Would be my thought.
Right.
It's just easier.
Most of my shooting is done at the target. That's what I shoot. I shoot targets.
A lot of paper.
I put a lot of holes in trees too, on my land. But that's the thing. Why would I want to change magazines? Now, so I have this one side that says nobody needs a 30-round magazine and there's millions of AR-15s out there with 30-round magazines. Well, by your own logic, you're saying that there are a bunch of people out there that are homicidal and they have AR-15s and they may come for any one of us, yet I shouldn't have that exact same gun so I can defend myself against these maniacs with AR-15s and 30-round magazines.
So you're saying if they outlaw magazines, only outlaws will have the high-capacity magazines?
That's pretty much it. And I don't want to belittle this at all, but I will tell you it's not difficult. I can teach you in 10 minutes how to do real fast changes, so you're going to be maybe 5 seconds behind using 10-round magazines versus 30, and that's
What about this concern, Roland? I can buy a 3D printer and make a 100-round magazine in my spare bedroom, and you can't do anything about it. Like, outlawing it isn't going to make a difference when you can download a program off the internet, right?
Make it out of plastic.
Well, could I say something?
Yeah,
I think that
I'm asking.
If the gun manufacturers realized, and I think they are realizing it, that they don't, stop being so concerned with the profits by selling the high-capacity clips. I think that, no, it wouldn't stop all the mass killings, but I think it would stop a number of them because these clips are available for these mass murderers. And I think that's much of the gist of the problem. And I think it would be eliminated. Not in all cases. Yes, you can change clips fast. I've owned guns, yes, but I never had an interest in a gun that fired more than 5 or 6 bullets or held one in the chamber and would have a 5-shot clip. I just can't imagine why people would need those high-capacity clips, except unless they love to do shooting. Like the one man there, the other man, I can't remember his name, was talking about. Yeah.
I want to offer you one parting thought, and that's this, that 80% of the time when police pull their gun and use it, they miss. 80% of the time of people that are highly trained.
Or at least trained.
Yeah. So that's why I feel as a civilian, I do want to have that with me. I routinely carry 16 rounds on my person at all times. So that's what I do. But I do appreciate the call.
Yeah, yes, sir. Could I just bring up another matter? Another thing I learned, I spoke to a guy that was an MP at an Air Force base. All he was allowed was 20 bullets in his clip. But yet these guys that are doing these mass killings can get clips with a lot more bullets. And I've noticed some of the gun stores or the places, they don't have them. They're not selling them. And I think that it's catching up with the gun industry.
Maybe.
I mean...
Roland, I have to take out the call. Thank you so much.
I think you know what I mean.
Yep. Appreciate the call. Really do. Thank you.
Let's go to Sarah calling in from New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, did you know that we had 26 homicides this year? And this is only April, I think, in New Mexico.
New Mexico's had 26 homicides. How interesting.
I did not know that.
Well, I think it's the highest rate in 14 years.
I don't know. All right.
And then...
Take your word for
it's
it.
one of the highest rate in 20 years or something.
Okay.
This is 26 murders.
What's causing it?
Well, you know what? They got rid of the death penalty 15 years ago.
So this is related?
There's no punishment. They're not going to be put to death, and the word is out. So they killed a homeless man, 2 teenagers, for fun. So why'd you do it?
You know, there's
I thought it was fun
because
to
they
do
wanted to spend the rest of their lives in prison.
Right.
I think you're giving people with very short-sighted goals a lot of credit when you say that they, that for whatever reason that they're, two teenagers want to spend the rest of their lives in prison is what you're suggesting with this information. It doesn't seem like that would be what their goal was.
And it doesn't jive statistically. I mean, when we look at states that have death penalty versus don't, we don't see those statistical differences that one would think if the death penalty were actually effective at stopping crime.
Right. The European countries don't. Many of them don't have the death penalty, and they have lower. In some cases, have lower crimes than the United States. So I'm not sure what the indication would be.
Or higher in the case of London.
Well, statistically, as far as I don't know about the European culture, but as far as the U.S. culture here, moment you get rid of death penalty, our murder rates, homicides go up.
That's
and
inaccurate.
13 of them are unsolved.
Not accurate.
Well, I mean, how accurate is this? Like,
you said New Mexico got rid of its death penalty 15 years later. You're calling about murder rates now. I mean, how can you correlate that information?
Right.
Well, it has been going up steadily, but it's just gotten really, really worse after 15 years.
Everything that I've ever seen in looking into this issue says that there's very little little to no correlation between homicide rates and the death penalty.
But what I would say, particularly for New Mexico, is look at the homicides through the war on drugs. You guys have seen increases in gang violence, increases in smuggling, and cartel violence and things like that.
That sounds right.
Yeah, we're just trying to save lives by keeping people from using drugs, and what do we get? Higher crime rates.
Thanks for the call, Sarah. Well, that's a wrap there. Chris, thanks so much for coming in.
It's always a pleasure.
You're sitting in for me, and I'm sitting in for Ian.
Is that how this works?
Well, you're in my chair.
I'm glad you're in that chair because I don't like the idea of being in that chair.
Pushing buttons and all the things that come with it. Thanks so much for listening to Free Talk Live. We'll be back in 21 short hours. You can check us out in the meantime at freetalklive.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darrell W.